a mic mask.
Yeah, that's a mic mask. Okay, so you guys know I normally have no problem speaking to you, but up here, I am one nervous person. A little bit different when you're one-on-one, isn't it? For the longest time, I wanted to share a huge story. It happened in my world, and I'm gonna have a moment like this, and then I'll get past it and I'll be fine. Everyone goes through something that builds them, that makes them bigger, makes them stronger. They go through something that shows true faith and true prayer, the power of prayer. I'm going to start with how I learned to pray, because I think that's one area that everyone tells you to pray, but how do you pray? If you can't see God, how do you pray? How do you connect? How do you learn? These are my grandparents. These are Mom and Pop, as I called them, as we called them. Both of my grandparents on my mother's side and my father's side were reverends of the Southern Baptist religion. And the lady on the right is Aletha Vera. And one of the first times that the word prayer stuck in my brain was when she was upset with something I had done. And she said, "Girl, you better start praying." I was like, oh boy, what did I do? And that's when my brain started to think. When she said that, I knew it meant I was in trouble and I needed to be praying to God to help me. In her way, she was just being silly. She wasn't serious that in that moment I honestly needed to pray to God. But it was her way of getting the point across of what prayer was. Next one. Now this is Nani and Gang Gang. They're my mom's parents. Also, preacher. So this was a year or two after what happened with Aletha. I actually stopped him in his workshop one day and I said, "Gang Gang, how do I pray? I don't understand. Now I'm a preacher's kid. You would think by the age of like 12, I would know how to pray. I would know what it is to pray. But I didn't. And the one person who I knew was always honest and very upfront with me was him. And so I said, "How do I pray? I don't understand how to pray." And he says, "You start at the very beginning and you just talk." He said, "You just talk to God. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you're with, what you're wearing. You just talk. You tell God what you're feeling. The more you do it, the better you are. The closer you get to him, the more you'll start to see him. You're not going to see him until you have a relationship that you've built with him." And so it was for these two couples. Yes, I was blessed to have them as grandparents. And they gave me a very solid foundation, no matter what my life brought me, ups and downs, bad things, good things. My foundation was there, and it was because of those two couples. It brings me to this moment in time in my life. And it happened to my son. His name is Jordan. Mercy, I think I can do this. All right. Luke 1:37 says, "For with God, nothing is impossible." Or, in the Living Bible version, it says, "Faith does not make things easy, it makes them possible." Say that with me. Faith does not make things easy. It makes things possible. All right, the next one. On June 25th, 2012, I received a phone call who I thought was my son Jordan because it was his ringtone. And of course I picked it up all happy. "Hey, what you doing?" He's 21. And it was a woman's voice. And her voice, she said, "Well, I'm not Jordan, but I am calling to tell you, you need to come to the Mayo Clinic because your son's in ICU. Blur after that, to be honest. Thank goodness my husband worked in the same building that I did. Somehow made it to him, because when I say blur, from the minute she said that all the way to a good 5 minutes in Mayo, I remember nothing. I don't remember the car ride. I don't remember anything. Thank goodness for my husband being in that building and getting me there. So when we got to the Mayo Clinic, Jordan's friend Thomas was there, and he ran to me and grabbed my hands and said I needed to sit down. Of course, I'm like, what on earth could be going on? In that moment, I said, Lord, my prayer was not about me, except for the one fact that I said, please give me strength for whatever you're bringing me, and give Jordan strength for whatever he's doing, whatever he's dealing with. All right. This is the gym where Jordan worked out, and he was faithful. He's a very big young man, very muscular, very tall. He had been working out that day, and the next one, and that's the spot. I went and took pictures just so I have a memory of it. He had taken post-workout powders often. What are they, like protein powders or things to help you pump up after you've done a workout? But this week, for the first time, he took a pre-workout powder, which pumps your body, makes you like this so you can do better, faster, stronger. It makes your body do something that your body shouldn't be doing, is what it does. And to this day, that's still not 100% whether he took too much or he had a reaction to it. But it put him into cardiac arrest. He had just taken it. The trainer was there, a personal trainer was helping someone else, and saw him literally just drop the dumbbells that he had and fall to the floor in a seizure. A very erratic seizure. And the next one. And if it wasn't for that personal trainer knowing what he was doing, knowing his job, and that machine on the wall, my son would not be here anymore. So I'm going to jump to the end of my story real quick, but then come back. So my son is still alive. That way we don't sit here with a hole in our heart like I did. Okay? But what came in the next few weeks was catastrophic in our world because we didn't have answers. The next one. That's my son. That's what I saw for about a week of my life. Actually, I guess it was more a handful of days in that bed. They had to, what's called induced medical coma, to keep his body so calm that only his heart was having to work. He had so damaged his heart that they had to bring him all the way down where all his body functions were to a minimum so that his heart could pump. Thank the Lord for technology, right? All right, the next one. Same one, sorry. All right. Now this is the day that he came up out of the coma. So they kept him in a coma for 3 to 4 days. And he was frozen, literally. If I went in to touch him, it was like touching those ice packs that you all come and get for your owies. That's what he felt like. And his face was a slate blue color because he had brought that heart rate so low that it was just pumping enough to keep his body alive. There's that strength in prayer and faith. If it wasn't for my family having the strength in prayer and faith, I don't know how we would all be. I really don't. That's all. Okay, next one. Can you imagine being a mom and seeing that and having to look at that and deal with that? And for some reason, after the initial incident, after they initially got him up to ICU, I had such peace in my heart about it all. I can't explain it. You know, I talked to my dad about it. I'm like, Dad, how come I'm not like this lunatic crying and screaming? And it's because I had asked God to just give me the strength and peace in my heart to be there for him. And he did. The peace I had, the confidence I had on whatever was happening to Jordan was for a reason. And that we were going to get through it. Next one. So that's the backside of this lady sitting right here, who is my sister Laura. And on the other side of her is my mother, and they are brushing his teeth for him because he had come up out of coma, and as you can see, he was allowed to actually eat some food there. And we weren't sure. He couldn't remember things. He kept asking what happened repeatedly. What happened? And when we would tell him, he'd be, really? Repeatedly, over and over and over again. Next one. And there they are helping him. I think they were adjusting all the wires in his head because they were actually able to take him off those monitors. The next one. And that's Jordan and my older son, James. Their biggest worry was that his motor skills wouldn't be functioning anymore, or that he wouldn't be able to see or hear, or just be able to walk. You know, with the discussion was whether he was going to have to go into an assisted living facility because of what had happened. It took 3 shocks from that AED. So if you ask Jordan, he died 3 times that one day, but it took 3 shocks, 2 at the gym and 1 in the ambulance unit heading to Mayo to get his heart back up and running. But that's them playing some video game, I can't really tell what it is, to get his motor skills going, per what the doctor suggested. Okay? And that's him. Can you tell he's my child? Coming up out of it, doing better. His brother was there every step of the way. My sister, her family, every step of the way. My mom and dad. And his friends. The number of friends that kept coming trying to see him was phenomenal. I mean, I just can't even. The next. That picture is him being silly. 4th of July, he wasn't able to go out on 4th of July, so my husband went home and cooked him his favorite ribs and was able to bring it in and let him have at least his 4th of July celebration food. So what happened with Jordan? I have to read it. Ventricular fibrillation is a heart rhythm problem that occurs when the heart beats with a rapid erratic electrical impulses. This causes pumping chambers in your heart. Instead of pumping, they quiver, which then causes what? The seizure. All because he was trying to pump his body up to more than what his body could take. Whether he reacted to it or whether he took too much, we just don't know. So a normal heart rate is anywhere from 60 to 100 beats. His was clocked at 324 beats, which is a lot for a poor little heart. That's when he arrived in the emergency room. That's what they... All right, Psalms 46:10. This is my favorite. It's the one that I say on a daily basis to myself, and that is, be still and know that I am God. I shared this with you for 2 reasons. The big reason, I want you to know how to pray, because I think that's important. I think sometimes you just don't understand how simple it is, but how important it is. Just talk. You know, I do my prayers it was funny, I said something to Mr. Brooke this morning. I say my prayer, my one-on-one prayers with God in the morning when I'm feeding our feral cats in my backyard. That's my favorite place to be. It's outside, I feel I'm closer to God. I talk to the cats, but when I really have something heavy on my heart, that's when I talk to him the most, is just when I'm outside, being one-on-one. So the moment that Jordan opened his eyes, he finally said, "Mom, where am I?" And that's when I knew, okay, he's not going to need any of this stuff that they're saying. He's going to overcome vision problems. He still sometimes has headaches, and he does sometimes have to wear glasses, but no more than what I do. If you looked at him, you would never know that this happened to him, other than the next one. Oh, there she is again. See, I told you. Go ahead. Again. That. They put that in his chest here, and that's simply because they could not pinpoint the reason it happened to him. And it's a defibrillator, and that's if ever his heart is to stop again, it will kick in and start it again. He has to go in every year and have like your car, have a checkup or a maintenance on it. It's monitored, so I'm always thinking, oh wow, so someone from somewhere can like shock you. No, probably yes, actually, I guess, right? But you'd never know. He still zip lines. He still shoots. He loves to, skeet shoot? He still does that. He has a special vest that he wears that covers it. He doesn't let anything stop him in life. He just continues on. He says it's kind of cool because he has a special little card that he carries in his wallet, that if he's at the airport or something traveling, all he has to do is show that card and he gets ushered straight to the front of the line and does not have to go through security because, one, he would set off the alarm, right? And two, it would probably cause a problem here, electrical of some kind. But yeah, he'll flash that out like he's FBI or something, you know. I get to go to the head of the line. I think that's the last one. Let me see. Yep. All right. So I guess my story is about faith. My story is about prayer. Just talk to God. He'll give you peace. The more you talk to him, the better your peace will be. Like I said, I was a little preacher's child, and for the longest time, I would hear my parents talk about it, but not really understand it, until I just actually started talking to God on a daily basis, one-on-one. The peace he gave me through this and so many other stories in life that I could go for hours. Jordan's an almost $1 million man. Almost. Mayo alone was $750,000 for what happened to that boy. So if ever you all go to the hospital for just simple things, you know, he says he's the $500,000 died 3 times boy, is what he calls himself. He thinks it's quite comical. I guess that's God giving him that peace, isn't it, that we talked about. How am I on time? That's wrong.
Oh yeah, it's almost at
Okay.
8:27.
All right. So I'm going to go to that first scripture I said, that faith doesn't make it easy. What does it make it?
Possible.
Possible. Say it again.
Possible.
Possible. Forever, ever changed me, the peace that God gave me during all of this. Forever. My upbringing was perfect. I had the best childhood you could possibly have. I had the best parents. I had the best grandparents. I still didn't comprehend what prayer was until I got older and actually asked someone to tell me how I need to pray or how to pray. And to pray, you just talk to him and you ask him. The more you do it, the more you see it. It's not going to be right out of the gate. It's not. That's not how God's plan is. That's not what his plan is. That is all. Do we have questions?
Miss Mariotti, you and I talked about this, and you mentioned how you wanted to share about, the power drinks and all of these fortified, things that are out there now with super caffeinated and all that.
So I am a Coke drinker. I admit it. I am. They're bad for you. But anything above that, you're causing your body undue stress. The drinks that they sell out there today that are all those energy drinks and power drinks, and those are causing your heart to do something that it's not supposed to be doing. I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. When you grab, if you ever, any of your parents grab those 5-hour energy drinks, that's causing their heart to do something that it's not supposed to be doing at a rate that it's not supposed to be pumping. The only time your heart should be at that rate is if you're working out or if you're on a roller coaster or something like that. But those power drinks, not good. It's causing your body to do something it is not supposed to be doing.
A question over there.
Yes. Yes?
Is Gatorade one of those?
No. No. Gatorade actually does what it's supposed to do. It adds electrolytes to your body. Yeah, Gatorade's good. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Where's your son?
He's here in Jacksonville. He lives here in Jacksonville. He's about to be married next year. And he's a financial advisor and doing really well. I'm telling you, the Lord had him. He did not miss a beat in life. He got back on that bicycle, as they say, and just didn't miss a beat. Didn't let it slow him down in any way.
You said that your son died 3 times. Did he see anything?
I asked him that, and unfortunately he didn't. And I think the reason for him, he doesn't even remember what happened to him. All this footage is from me going back to the gym and asking the people there what happened, because he doesn't remember a thing. Like I said, he said so many times in the hospital what happened to me. It's a family joke. It's like, yes, Jordan, really. Because every time he would say, really? And I'm like, yes, Jordan, really. I don't know how many times. He would say, why am I here? And we would explain why, and he'd, really? He didn't remember. So unfortunately, he did not. He did not. Yes, ma'am.
So what do you like when you mean like 3 times? Do you mean like he stopped breathing?
His heart stopped. His heart stopped 3 times because it had been taken to such a level that it couldn't function. So it just, and it took 3 times using that AED unit to shock it back into pumping normal. And then it didn't even hold. They had to do it 3 times. That's why he says he died 3 times. He's just being silly when he says that. That's his defense mechanism, because everyone has it, right? Like I didn't have one when I got up here, and you got to see the true side of me. Anybody else? Yay. Thank you.